Welcome to the program. My name is Vince Negro. On today's Insights, Victoria Eginliyan, social influencer, behind the scenes influencer, whatever you want to call her, she's an influencer. She'll give you the latest trends, what's happening, what's coming down the pike, and how to use it. Victoria on Insights. Victoria, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are a social, I would say butterfly, but a social influencer, a butterfly that flies around but is doing social influencing. That word social influencer, you're starting to hear that more and more. In terms of advertising, marketing, the general way that people sell brands and whatever is pretty much out the window. Whatever you see on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, it seems like it's the way to go. Most people get their news, everything from these Instagram. How did you get involved at such a young age, being a social influencer and being involved in this whole social media world?
Yeah, so growing up, I feel like my age demographic is when social media is starting to blow up. Like I was in elementary school when like Facebook and Instagram were a big thing. So I started with being really interested because a lot of celebrities I was really into were posting on social media for the first time. They're blowing up from there, as well as seeing the Kardashians posting their content every day and seeing how much attraction they were getting. It caught my interest and it made me realize this was something I want to study and be a part of.
Yeah. Obviously social media has saved a lot of these stars because they've actually taken it on. They're in the public, whether they're selling tequila, coffee, shoes. Like Mark Wahlberg's another guy that you see him everywhere. And we're hoping to have, believe it or not, Mark Wahlberg on our program at some point when he comes to Toronto. But he is out there selling all kinds of stuff with his following, and people tag it and go from there. You have been someone who is studying media communications. You're out there in the scene. You're actually dabbling in it. You're working with different people. If someone is interested and they wanted to start doing some of this stuff, let's just start with the basics. What is the basic thing you would do? Just get an Instagram account?
Yeah, start with an Instagram account and then build your brand from there. Make people realize that you are the person behind the brand as well. You're a real person. I feel a lot of times people follow people who are authentic and that they can relate to their content, even if it is a tequila brand or a jewelry brand or a clothing brand. People are interested in what things look like as well as the people behind it. So just promote yourself, make yourself look eye-catching and to the point where people want to follow your content, as well as being relatable or just being out of the box extraordinary. Because at the end of the day, I feel as technology advances, you see people doing the same content usually, but you can't have the same personality.
So, as they say, content is king. Still, even in these smaller social posts, if you don't have good content and you have garbage, most people won't keep coming back. So you really need to have some thought process put into the content.
Yes. Think about what you want to post. Think about what you want to look like onto the internet. Because right now, as everyone can get into social media. Yeah. Everyone could become an influencer if they want to. It's a matter of who sticks and who doesn't. And I find that you have to be consistent with what you post. Even if you start off right now and you find that I'm not getting much attraction. If you post every single day, you will find more and more people starting to follow you. And then one day you can just blow up and people will find one video that did really, really well. And they're going to want you to post content around that kind of video because that's what they see you as.
What's interesting is, I was never a big social media person, but I do check in and follow. And people working out of their homes, whether it's cooking or whatever, it's just amazing how it becomes addictive. And, you think about it during the night. How addictive is this stuff especially in your demographics? How addictive is it?
Yeah, it's really addictive. Yeah. Right now there's a term going around called doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling, what is that?
Doom scrolling is essentially think about doomsday, how it's never ending. You find yourself be on your phone and you think I'm gonna check a content for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna scroll on TikTok for 5 minutes. Then you look at the time, it's been like 6 hours. Because TikTok is also one of the apps that are never ending content. Content's going out every second. And the way they keep people stuck onto their algorithm is that it doesn't stop. And you could just keep going and going and going.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, when I'm somewhere and I'm trying to kill some time and I just maybe check something else, you're right. It's just amazing how much time before you know it, half hour, 45 minutes. I've actually done it for more than an hour. It really is addictive and catchy. So you have to set some parameters. You got to say to yourself, I'm going to give myself 15, 20 minutes. But the algorithms, as you said, they know what you're doing. And that's where the addictive piece comes in.
I agree with that. I also find that like, even if you search up one thing, like, oh, like I want to learn how to make like this recipe, then your whole TikTok feed would be essentially different recipes. And you're like, well, I'm into this. Or like, oh, what's the celebrity doing with like drama? And then you're also like being like fed new content that relates to that. So I feel like your mind doesn't even get time to like relax and you're just absorbing so much information at the exact same time. But that's how you get stuck.
Right. So you have a family member and a close friend of yours that got involved in social media, and one in particular has blown up. Talk to us a little bit about how that played out.
So I had one friend who posted a content of her breakfast, and she ended up breakfast. Just her talking about her breakfast, and the way she said breakfast is what blew her up. And she's such a wonderful person, and I'm happy for her. I tell her this all the time. And it's crazy to see how like you could put so much time and effort into building your brand online, but it takes one video to really blow you up. And I've seen that with her. I also have like family members who post on social media, and they get a lot of followers and a lot of traction. And we have like other family members who have brands. They're like, wow, like I see that like people in my life are blowing up on social media. I want to promote my brand, so let me start doing it from there. And they've also blown up because they've got influencers to connect with them, as well as like create a brand for themselves.
We have talked, and I've talked with some folks in the past about making money on YouTube, Instagram, that kind of stuff there. A lot of people assume that Canada is the same as the United States. There is a difference in terms of how people get paid in Canada as opposed to the United States. In Canada, tell us a little bit about how that works.
So in the United States, TikTok especially has this program called the Creator Fund, where you will make certain amount of money, but depending on how many views and likes you get on your content. We don't have that in Canada. In Canada, usually the influencers post because they're into it or because they want to build themselves, but it's mostly to catch brand deals from brands, because I don't know if you know this, now a lot of times marketing is done online.
Right.
Brands are posting or commenting on really popular Instagram or TikTok videos, and people are going onto their accounts and gaining traction for their algorithm and their insights on their accounts. So all the marketing is done through influencers, commenting, and being relatable, as well as like being a part of the topic of what is popular and what isn't. But in Canada, because they don't have a creator fund, usually they have to rely on brand deals. So you would usually see paid sponsor on a video on TikTok as well as Instagram if they're being monetized on it. YouTube is different. I think YouTube, it really goes on how many ads you put in your video,
Right.
and those ads will generate income for the influencers.
So tell us a day in the life of Victoria. When you get up in the morning, like what's your day like with on social media? How do you regulate yourself with that?
So every morning I wake up, and I am unfortunately one of those people who have to go on Twitter, who that was also is now X, and see my news from there.
Right.
That's
So you
just
get your news from X.
I get my news from X. Yes. I've been doing that since I was a teenager, so now it's just
Right.
kind of like habit.
That's just to my point. Like in your era, people get their media from X.
From X, yes. So I check X first, and then I go to Instagram, and then I end it off on TikTok, because that's how I want to like wake myself up, which is not the best way.
Right.
But that's just how also like check what's in as well. Like I see what content's really popular, what happened overnight that blew up that I could be interested in, what celebrity gossip is being talked about, what content's being posted. So I check that as well. And then from there, I will kind of plan out because I also help my cousin with her jewelry brand's Instagram. So I also see what's popular
Right.
and how I can look
You
at.
check different accounts and that you normally would follow or that you have an interest in.
Yeah, and I check to see what's popular, what can be created for a new video, what I can do to help like family members on their social media accounts, as well as like just seeing what's popular and what's being talked about.
Yeah. The the social media component to it, you had mentioned you get most of your media from it. Like most kids under 25 don't even know what a newspaper is. Like, I mean, or watch a local newscast or and radio. If you're in the car, you may do it, but generally most of the era that your era are all getting their news from X and all kinds of social media. And do you find most of your friends, the people you deal with, use the same kind of format that you do get most of your ongoing media and whatever news from social media?
Yes. So I think all my friends and I don't think we really turn on the TV to watch the news anymore. We kind of see what's being talked about, especially now because like on X you have CP24 or any other news channel,
Right.
and we'll be like, oh my gosh, did you hear about this? Screenshot it, send it to the person,
Right.
instead of like sitting down and watching what is happening. Or like the weather, we'll check the weather app to see what is happening instead of turning on the TV and checking there.
And instantaneously, you can get it anytime you want as opposed to waiting. Right?
Yeah, anytime. And I find that because like with my age group, we grew up on social media, and that's just how like all of us navigate. Like even if we see a video, we'll text it to the person instead of like actually talking about it in person.
Right.
And like how quick it is to share content as well. So I feel like everything is in the world of our phone.
Just basically like trends that are coming down the pipe. Like everybody has Instagram, Twitter, TikTok is obviously having some issues in the United States with Donald Trump and the China and that kind of stuff there. But I think there's so much pressure they'll probably work something out. I know the Chinese tried to come in with their new a while ago. I thought it was called Red Dragon. It was red something.
There's been something, yeah.
But that no longer is around. What are some of the trends coming down the pipeline in terms of communicating aside from Instagram? I know there's the pinning thing, Pin It. Pin It. I think it's called Pin It. So there's different platforms. Where do you see some of the latest or the newest coming down the pike?
Right now, from what I gathered, the most popular ones are Instagram and TikTok, and I see TikTok staying for a while. I find that if everything that happens in America does happen, I don't know how popular it will be after that, but there hasn't been anything that's stuck like TikTok in a very long time. There used to be one called Vine, but Vine died off.
Right.
And Vine was kind of the same concept as TikTok, but not really, but it was like 5 second, 6 second videos instead of like 2 minutes. So I find that TikTok was one of the ones that like stuck for a really long time, and there hasn't been anything really that has topped that. So I think right now I can't quite say, just because I think TikTok will be here for a while.
Yeah, and just finally, the X, which was Twitter, which is Elon Musk, who's had his ups and downs. Is X in your age group also a very popular tool?
Yeah, I find that right now Instagram has Threads, which is supposed to be what X is. It's supposed to be like people like tweeting or like putting what they're thinking on a platform. I don't use Threads because I have my Twitter or X account.
Threads was part of the Facebook component. That Threads
Right,
came out of the
right.
Facebook. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think you can also link it to your Facebook,
Right.
if I'm not wrong. But I find that like me and my friends were really into X. The younger generation doesn't really use it, I don't find. But because when I grew up, X and Twitter were at its prime. So that's just how me and my friends get our news as well. But I know a lot of people use it for sports updates, for news, for celebrity updates, what's happening. Even on X, you can watch clips of like interviews happening or red carpet updates on major award shows. So I feel like X has its like demographic for around my age group, but I think the younger generation's going
Right.
towards Threads.
And just lastly, the AI piece that everybody keeps talking about AI and how that interface. I mean, you're already getting AI based on the algorithms that
Mhm.
are happening in there, but this whole hey, AI piece is also becoming more and more popular in terms of everyone in terms of using AI, especially within social media and across the board.
Yeah. So right now, I know that Instagram, X, as well as TikTok all use AI,
Yeah.
have an AI feature. I don't really use it because I don't find the need for it, but it's gonna be everywhere. AI is everywhere. Even when you go on a Google search,
Right.
the first thing that comes up is an AI generated search versus then it comes to links to Google. But I find that like as AI evolves, these apps are going to evolve and they're going to incorporate it because
Right.
it's our everyday life now.
Right. I know you don't want to praise it, but you are an influencer, and I know that you've done a lot of influencing with a lot of the people that are around you, and I've seen the success that they've gotten. We really appreciate you coming on the program and give us a little bit of an insight from the eyes of someone youthful and kind of what's coming down the pike. We'll keep in touch with you. Maybe as things evolve, we'll have you come back on the program and you can give us updates on the latest and the greatest.
Yes.
So, Victoria, thanks for coming on
Thank
the
you so
program.
much for having me. Thank you.